Thank you to our sponsor, Pinpoint Technologies, your source for direct mail and telemarketing leads. Check them out at www.pinpoint-tech.com.
So here's Pinot Noir. This was picked 2 days ago. That's a forgotten bunch of grapes. All the grapes we could see were harvested. So this is the first generation of grapes. Now, our own harvests, the quality of the grapes themselves is fine. The Chardonnays are absolutely beautiful with absolutely no rot in our case. And in the Pinot Noir, there is a little botrytis, but it's very controlled and it's not to worry about. So altogether, and down to the point we're at during the harvest, we're happy. Clos des Goisses is only the steep part. So this here is called Val au Froid. It's also ours, but it's not Clos des Goisses. Clos des Goisses is everything under this road. So it's a narrow strip of land along the side of the river, facing south. This is actually a canal. It's the lateral canal to the Marne River. Mm-hmm. We had a very bad hail here. The foliage is horrible this year. It's all torn. You can see it was perforated twice. These are woods from the hail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on just one cane. I don't think it's such a bad harvest, but many people are disappointed because this was to be the earliest harvest in the history of Champagne, and in some areas it has been so. And of course, because it's a summer harvest, everybody expected fantastic quality. And because of the wet summer, it's a little spottier than that. The soils in Champagne can liquefy very easily when it rains because it's chalk dust with a little organic material. So when it rains, the soils immediately turns to mud. And then it dries up very quickly. It absorbs the water very quickly, but while it's raining, the soils go liquid very easily. Here we plowed it, here we seeded grass, here we plowed, and now we're going to put barks again. So that does also create a mulch on top of the soil to prevent erosion, but we don't want to plow the vineyard every year because if we do that, then all the earth goes to the bottom. It goes right onto the road, and you have to bring it up again. The potential of Clos des Goisses is the theoretical potential is about 50,000 bottles, but the average production is only 20,000 bottles. That means that about 30,000 bottles worth of Clos des Goisses is recycled into other blends every year. It does elevate the rest, and it also ensures that we only put the very best in the Clos des Goisses bottle. So it's an exceptional vineyard, but even within that exceptional vineyard, we select the very best. In Champagne, you don't necessarily want maximum flavor. We do want some intensity of flavor at Philipponnat, which means we like to harvest our grapes very ripe. But we also need some purity, we also need some freshness in the finished wines. In Bordeaux, you're looking for fruit and tannins, if I put it very, very schematically. In Champagne, you look for finer aromatic characters and freshness and minerality and a certain transparency of the acidity. Well, I think the whole idea about expanding the area stems from a good point. We need more fruit. Yes. The only point I'd make is that it's all right as long as the land we plant is just as good as the existing land, or better. And there are some places within the existing area that are not really worthwhile, so why not uproot these and replace them with some of the new reclassified land?
Yes, that should be simple.
Yeah. At Philipponnat, we use only the cuvée, only the first juice, only the first pressing. So the juice is just measured in the ballon, in the open vat, then decanted naturally. And after about 18 hours of decanting, we will send the must into the fermenting vat or casks. These are already fermenting here. Oh, here. This is Pinot Noir from Clos de Goisses. That's just starting to ferment. You can already smell the carbonic gas coming out. It's a little tickling. We use the barriques for fermentation and aging until we blend. And then when they're empty, we use them again for reserve wines. The wines that do ferment in barriques go into the vintage blends. In the barriques, we do only the alcoholic fermentation, and then we stop the malolactic fermentation by cooling down the atmosphere. So we prevent the malolactic fermentation in all the wines that go into barriques. That's a little original. That's the Philipponnat way. Not many people do that. We also do prevent the malolactic fermentation in some of the vats for the wines that do ferment in vats, so that we can adjust the acidic perception in the blend by using more or less wine with or without malic acid, rather than acidify the wine. Unfortunately, the way most people go in Champagne is that if the wine is not acidic enough, or the balance is not acidic enough, they will add tartaric acid to correct the acidity. There's a big mystification about sugar in Champagne, whereby some people will tell you that cane sugar is preferable to any other kind of sugar. This is purely refined sugar. It's 100% saccharose. So this is neutral. This is a technical thing. It's just white sugar. The same sugar you put in your coffee in the morning.
Watch that last step, guys. It's a logo.
After we've blended, we bottle immediately and store the bottles horizontally for the secondary fermentation, and then age the bottles horizontally all the time. During the course of the aging, the yeast will ultimately die and sort of dissolve or break down, which is what we call autolysis. And through this process, the yeast will change the taste of the wine, will make it more complex, which is why it's so important to age champagne for a long time in the cellar before we disgorge and sell it. I've brought up an undisgorged bottle, so I'll disgorge it now. I'm going outside because otherwise I'll splash wine and yeast all over the place. Well, that's not the best I've done. It's not my best, but I've lost a little too much, but it'll be clear at least.